Good evening, I'm Lee Zurik.
And I'm Kim Holden. New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell says her family has been struggling with debt for years.
Yeah, the mayor sending us a statement tonight after we reported the IRS says she owes nearly $100,000 in federal income taxes. Tonight, a follow-up to the investigation we broke today about 3 tax liens filed by the IRS on Cantrell's house. In 8 of the last 9 years, the IRS says New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell and her husband didn't pay their fair share of federal income taxes. Records filed with the Orleans Clerk of Court show the IRS claims they still owe nearly $100,000.
The concern is going to be, well, if she's not being responsible with her personal taxes, will she be responsible with the city's budget, with the city's taxes?
Dillard University public policy professor Robert Collins says while voters are more tolerant of personal behavior these days, unpaid taxes is something that still resonates.
The concern with the voters is going to be, well, we have to pay our taxes. Why isn't the mayor paying her taxes? I think that's going to be the question in the minds of the voters.
Over the past 5.5 years, the IRS has filed a series of tax liens on the Cantrells' Broadmoor home.
A tax lien is if you have unpaid taxes and interest and penalties. The IRS, if you're not going to pay it, they eventually are going to file a lien on all of your assets, which means you can't sell your assets.
The IRS filed its latest tax lien this week for unpaid taxes from 2018. In December of last year and in 2018, the IRS filed additional tax liens for unpaid taxes. The Cantrells also had a 2014 lien that has been released or settled with the IRS.
Her husband is an attorney, so it's hard for me to swallow I didn't know any better. If you disagree with these assessments, why aren't you litigating it? You're an attorney, and both of them are jointly and severally liable for this tax assessment. So you would think if they had a case, it would have been litigated, but it isn't. And so why is that?
Local CPA Patrick Lynch says the IRS could eventually foreclose on the Cantrells' home. Could they come garnish her wages?
Yes, they could.
The IRS could?
Yeah.
When they filed their taxes, the IRS claims the Cantrells didn't pay the proper amount in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, and 18. Since 2010, 2016 is the only year the IRS says the Cantrells paid the required amount at the time of filing.
I think what's going to be so disturbing for the voters is the number of years. If it was 1 year, you could say, okay, well, this is carelessness. It's an oversight. Filing taxes is very complex. We all occasionally make mistakes on our taxes. So if it was just 1 year or so, people could say, okay, well, it's just a mistake. But when you get into multiple years and when you get into year after year, it's happening. Then it appears more that, okay, this was a deliberate attempt to avoid paying these taxes.
The IRS says the Cantrells owe nearly $35,000 in income taxes from 2015, $32,000 from 2017, and almost $20,000 from 2018. Late tonight, Mayor Cantrell sent us this statement, writing, "Unfortunately, our family has been struggling with this debt for years. We are working with tax experts to resolve and pay this off as soon as possible. It's very painful for this news to be made public, but I know many of our city's residents face similar challenges while they work hard every day of keeping their homes. I still live on Louisiana Avenue Parkway like I always have and will continue to work side by side every day with our residents for a better future for all New Orleanians. We are all in this together."
I think the way to handle it is just to be honest and transparent.
But even then, Collins will be keeping an eye on how the council reacts. The mayor and council have already disagreed on the council's investigation into the Hard Rock collapse. Collins says how Cantrell has handled her personal finances could concern some council members and prompt them to dig deeper into the city's finances.
I do think this will cause the city council to want to dig a little bit further into issues involving the executive branch, especially issues that specifically involve money, the appropriation of money and the handling of taxes.
Because you think from a council member's point of view, this might raise questions about what her management or her ability to manage money, I guess? Is
Yes,
that what you're saying?
her ability to manage money. And also, I think the city council is going to feel if they don't start taking their oversight role more diligently, they may get some pushback from their voters.
Again, the IRS says the Cantrells didn't properly file taxes in 8 of the last 9 years. They did settle the taxes for the first 3 years, 2010 through 12, but still have liens and unpaid taxes for 5 years.
We are going to see some rain.